Hello, it is February 16th and I'm going to give you an update about what's going on in my winter garden. And so it looks kind of pretty much neat and tidy right now. I did a lot of cleaning out and pulled a lot of things that just weren't growing. We haven't had hardly any cool weather. So things like cabbage and collards are doing okay, but the cabbage, for instance, is if it is heading, it's not heading very well. So we'll start here at the corner, and I've got this front section right here before the raised beds. I've built up and have it divided into 5 sections, and this one has collards and kale. That the kale is just really awesome. It's dinosaur kale, and the collards are just Georgia Southern. I have some that are obviously bigger. I've already harvested quite a bit, I don't know, for Christmas. And then I have some started that probably about in a month and a half or so. And then moving on to this next section, we have a couple rows of carrots. And I don't think I was watering them deep enough. I tend to overdo a lot of things, so unbelievably I was underwatering. I just thinned them out a little bit, and there's actually little baby carrots in there. This next section, I had beets that I just pulled up a little bit ago right here. They just didn't root. So I figured I would just leave that space open to get ready for spring and summer. I've got some bunching onions, and then this little section right here, I just started some butter crunch lettuce. Moving on to this next section, we've got some cabbage, and the cabbage that I started later when we did have a little bit of cool is doing good. When I have like big fellas like that I don't know, they might end up going to the chickens if they don't head. So I've got 2 rows of cabbage there, and then I had quite a few sugar snap peas, and it's kind of tricky to grow them here, so I went ahead and did that about a week ago, and I just used these tomato cages and let them grow up and I planted them around the base, and there's 3 cages right there. Then we have a row of cauliflower and a row of collards, and then this empty section I just pulled up some collards, and I will leave that until spring and just keep working that soil so it'll be ready. And so that is the front row of the garden, and now we will move on to the raised beds. So I'll just walk right back here. Now I added these raised beds in. I love them. So they're actually level with this front section, because I've just kept building that part up after my garden flooded last year. So this raised bed, we have kale sprouting, and then the posts with the string, I've started some more sugar snap peas and just going to grow them down the middle of that raised bed and let them climb up, and have the kale growing around it. And then I will use that probably by, I don't know, May or June for some summer stuff. And then this next raised bed is a little bit bigger, and I have kale. Then I have some barletta onions. I have 1 head of cabbage. Well, not yet head. Some more kale. 1 more almost head of cabbage. And then I started some broccoli down at this end, and you can see that it's sprouted. And now we will move on to the next next raised bed where I have some barletta onions, some carrots. I think these are little fingers, and they should have just probably a couple more weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I did start some more carrots down in these empty rows right here and right here. Then I have some beets. These beets may do. I've never grown them before. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not impressed. And then right here we have some lettuce. So I'm hoping that all this will be out of there and I can use it for spring. And all these vegetables will come out at the same time. Well, except for those the carrots that I just planted. And now in this small raised bed at the end, it's all kale. I had a lot of kale seeds thanks to my cousin Lynn, and I love kale. So I just decided to do the whole bed in that, and they grow pretty quickly, and I'll be able to plant some things with that, like herbs probably, for spring. So those are the raised beds that I have going, that I have stuff planted in right now. Now just a couple of days ago, my husband showed up with a whole pallet of cinder blocks. And my original plan was to use this back whole area of the garden as just for bulk things like bush beans for spring and summer. But I thought, well, I don't want it to flood again, and I'm tired of building it up. So I put these cinder blocks down and made really big raised beds. I typically like to keep my beds like 4 feet wide so I can reach across and get the stuff. But I figure I can maybe do something down the middle, so I don't have to reach. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have filled it up. I filled these up with tree waste that I have been working and composting for a long time, and then I added compost on top of that, and then some dead leaves just to keep any weeds from dead leaves. Did I say? I don't know what I said. I put dead leaves to keep weeds from coming up through it. And now I have the next raised bed, which I did the same thing. And this last one, I wasn't able to use as much compost, so I've covered it with this cardboard. I also did not line this bed like I did the other ones with cardboard underneath to keep the weeds down. So I'm going to just try to smother everything out with the cardboard. So this is my main garden, and that's what's going on with that. Now we'll move over to my little garden that I used to call Myrtle's Mater Garden. So hold on. Okay, so directly across from my main garden that I call Beyonce's place is my smaller garden that right now I have divided into 3 main sections. This first section is a row of collards that I grew. Collards here, I started them in October and they did really well, so I just planted some more there. Then I have some beets going there, and a little walkway of mulch. And then I have 2 more rows of collards here. And then where you see well, you see me now, and I hate that. I've got to go to the other side, so that makes me self-conscious. Sorry. So here we have where I have the stakes and the string. I did some more sugar peas, sugar snap peas, and they should be sprouting in probably like 2 days, and I'll have a nuclear meltdown and take lots of pictures because I love when things sprout. And now in this little section right here, what you have is some Calabrese broccoli, and it's doing pretty good. I keep adding mulch and building it up so it doesn't fall over. The stems, if I don't, the stems will bend and it doesn't grow straight up. So got a couple good broccoli plants going here. I hope they take. Now this, we have some cabbage, and then I have some, started some after that, so by the time these are done, these will be getting bigger. And this cabbage is starting to head, but very slowly, and I'm hoping it does. I don't know. Next year I'm just going to have to start everything a lot later. Then I have another row of sugar snap peas. And in my mind, it's all working out. When the cabbage is ready, the sugar snap peas will be ready, and then I'll have a little bit of time to let the soil, I don't know, rest, if you want to call it that, so I can get stuff put in for summer. And now, in this little section that's kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of getting the shaft lately. I had some purple cabbage that I started a long time ago, so it should already be done, but I poked around in this one, and there is a tiny little head started, so I don't know, who knows. And I have a couple of beets there, and same problem with these beets as the other garden that I was talking about. I really didn't realize how deeply you had to, first of all, how deeply you had to get the dirt, and how deeply you have to water. And this is my star cabbage, and it's forming a nice little head. So I've got, oh, and that raised bed I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. I was thinking about growing potatoes in it and moving it over to that corner on the right there at the garden over there, but well, who knows. So far I've eaten collards, lettuce, carrots, broccoli, radishes, which I don't have any growing right now. I only have just a small number of seeds left, so I'm going to wait and use them, I don't know, maybe in a month. What else have I eaten off of my garden? Let's see. Oh, kale, of course. Duh. Eating a lot of kale. My lettuce hasn't done very well, so I'm using kale as condiments for hamburgers and salads and chips, and the chickens are getting treats of it. I love it. So there you have it. I'll try to do another video with what I'm planning as far as transitioning into spring, and how I'm going to place my spring and summer vegetables with what's growing in there now and what grew there last spring and summer, so as not to repeat plant. That is not the technical term for it. Rotation crops, whatever you call it. Okay, that's it. I could go on, and once I start, I don't stop. So, peace out.